What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Podcast. I have a very special guest who's just joined me, and we're about to have a very interesting conversation. So, just introduce yourself, tell the people what you do, and then I'll take it from there with the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Angeline Gitonga Wairimo.
Yeah.
I'm an environmentalist. I work with Greenpeace Africa as a face-to-face fundraiser. On the side, I have a social enterprise that I'm currently working on. Yeah.
By social enterprise, what do you mean?
What I mean, I have a business going on, but it's not only for profit, but it's supposed to change the people mindset on, let me just be straight, on environment conservation. Yeah. It's a two-way traffic.
Yeah.
We change and we get something at the return.
I like that.
Thank you.
I don't pay attention to it, but at least now from today I might get some insight and might just make me start considering a lot of things before I proceed in anything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, even just to start off the podcast, as you can see, like we've been just served some really nice refreshments. But according to our guests today, we are not using the straws, the normal straws.
No.
The normal straws. We're not using
plastic,
plastic, right?
Yeah.
So we're not using plastic straws. We're going to use some straws that she's brought. Are they from your... Now you can explain the straw thing as we start quenching our thirst, because I'm quite thirsty by the way.
It's sunny. We have, as I said, I have a social enterprise I'm working on.
Yeah.
And it's towards conserving the environment. And I'm specifically campaigning against single-use straws. That's the plastic straws that you just showed us. And I'm telling people, I'm trying to change people's minds to switch to reusable straws. They are bamboo straws. I have a sample here. And the good thing about these bamboo straws, they can be reused and they are biodegradable. So at the end of the day, they won't end up in the environment. And you see something about plastics, it doesn't decompose. It might disintegrate, but at the end of the day, we will still find some form of plastics on the environment. Yeah.
So can I at least start drinking my juice
as
we go on with the interview? So I'm going to use this, but I think this is the first time I'm using a bamboo straw. So let's do this. And as we just go on, what inspired you to get in this path? Or let me ask, what did you study in uni, or what are you studying if you're still in uni?
I graduated back in 2017 from Egerton Uni. And I did community development. And before doing community development, I always thought that I have a passion for people. I still have. As I was going on with my studies, I realized I had a passion for environment. And most of my projects back in school will be connected to the environment, maybe agroforestry. And then also contested for Miss Environment Nakuru County. And this was not only for the showbiz. It's a passion that I've always had. And since then, and with growth, working with Greenpeace, I've come to realize that there's a problem with environment degradation, and people need to do something. We always have so many excuses. The government is not doing this or that, but what are you doing as a person?
As a person,
Exactly. You don't have to do it perfectly, but it's the small things that you do. For example, right now, we have a ban against the plastic bags. So that's not the end. Plastic, it's a huge topic on plastics, and we have to keep challenging ourselves on how to solve this issue on plastics. Because you see, most of these plastics, they end up also in our marine and in our oceans, killing the marine life. And I believe when we were created, we were told to take care of nature, and it's our part. That's what we are called to do.
In fact,
Yes.
you see, the thing is funny because even from my previous guest, what we were talking about, because she distributes food and stuff. And we were talking about like how just even like with the whole meat situation and stuff, I was being explained to how if you get meat like from Laikipia or Kajiado and all those places, and you get meat from Nairobi, they taste completely different because we have animals that are being fed paper bags, they're eating straws, all those plastic leftovers and stuff. That's what the animals are actually consuming, and in the end of it, now if you consume that animal as well, you're kind of like, messing with your health as well, and it doesn't taste the same. It's just a whole complete different mess, a chain reaction of so many other bad things. And so it's interesting just to meet somebody who's actually advocating that. But when you're just studying in uni and all these things that you're pursuing, how are your parents taking it? They didn't start telling you like, hey, those things are for white people, Maze. Can't you just study law, medicine and everything? Or they fully support what you do?
At the moment, they fully support it.
Yeah.
My mom still has an issue why I took community development and not nursing.
Yes, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
But with time, I've come to convince her. I've not fully convinced her.
Yeah.
But she can see the results of my work. Yeah. I haven't done it for so long, and I'm still at the baby steps. But I believe it's something that I want to do for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And everything takes time. So like we need the patience, we need the support from our parents, and so far so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So it won't be like next year at a time like this that you've dropped everything, like you're not into straws anymore, you're using plastic. This is something you plan on doing long term.
Yeah, I have a vision for it. Yes, and for now, I don't want to limit myself to just environment.
Yeah.
Because I have interest in so many things. I have interest in philanthropy, interest in ministry.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that this is my...
Ministry?
Yes.
What's ministry?
Oh, okay. I didn't mention. I'm a Christian, yeah? Yes.
Okay.
So with
born again?
Yeah, born again Christian. Yes. Oh, sorry, I thought that's Christian.
Oh, no.
Yeah, by the way, we have 80% Christians in Kenya.
Yes. But born again is like a whole different level to it.
True.
Just shows you work with a certain... I won't say rules and regulations. What do you call them in Christianity?
Laws.
Guides? Yeah, some guides that, are in place and you try your best to actually follow them.
Yeah.
So I guess it just makes sense with everything that you're doing because from a moral standpoint, Christian standpoint, you're just trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so far, how are people just reacting or responding to you? How about your friends? How are they responding to what you're doing, your movement? Getting support, or some of them are like, ay, Mazi sasa, where with these straws and nini? Hey, do they understand what you're doing and the purpose of what you're doing?
I think with everything, ata ikwe the most obvious things, people need to understand from the root to everything else what you're doing. So I've had to take them through a process. Why am I doing this? I post pictures on my social media and then trying to tell them this is the problem. I started off with showing them the problem and then coming up with the solution and trying to tell them you can be part of the solution. It's not an Angie thing. It's everyone's thing at the end of the day.
True.
Yeah.
It just makes sense with all the things, the factors that you're dropping. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So with the straws, is it... you make them, you buy them, or how does it work? Because you're trying to advocate for that, but how does it work?
At the moment, I'm buying them, but I'm working towards a place whereby I can be able to produce them. And then, you see, when I come to production, it will also involve a lot of people. There'll be an employment factor.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
empowerment, right?
Empowerment, exactly. Yeah, people, most young people who are maybe also looking for jobs, looking for spaces where they can fit in, it will be something to bring them along. So at the moment, I'm working on something to find a local production thing. But yeah, so far so good.
Is it possible to produce them locally?
Yeah, we have a lot of bamboos. Just that people don't know their value. Maybe bamboos are not just for the furnitures, but but not for things like.
Is it expensive to make like one of these, or how much do you spend on getting one of these?
Getting one of these, it's around 400 to 500.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
True.
What?
Just because it's not local. You see, it's not something that is local, and that's why I want to do it locally. Oh, sorry, I meant the whole package, because they come with a set.
Okay.
You see, it comes with such a bag for you.
But still, clearly I've never used such an expensive straw. Let's start with that first of all. Yes.
Yeah, I said it's new. It's something new. So it has its own negativity. I don't know if it's negativity. Yeah, but you see, for such a set, it comes with 3 bamboo straws and a cleaning brush. Today let's carry it to just clean the brush after you use it. So there is that production costs. Yeah. There is the shipment costs. There is the clearance. So it's a bit high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, me, I have enough problems, first of all. So, how will you start convincing people to spend that money on straws?
Are already. We have people who are very pro-environment.
Yeah.
And I'm not that okay with that price. But you see, at the end of the day, I don't want to go to experience losses. You see.
Yeah, because clearly it's a business. If you're getting into it, you also have to put into consideration, will you be spending more than what's coming in, even though you're trying to push a good agenda that's positive and everything, but then also maybe how you'll need to put into consideration if you can be able to pay your bills, take care of your errands and everything. Right, you can't have expensive straws and then you're like...
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so but how do you think you'll be able to convince people to act? Yeah, you've said there are so many pro-environmentalists, right? But how do you let all the other masses just look at it in a positive way that they can just go out and
access the...
Yeah. Because you know how Kenyans are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Saying you giving us white people problems up, plus we have to pay for it now. Plus now we have to pay for it.
You know, one of my worries that I've been experiencing, I've met a couple of few people,
Yeah.
And they claim that environment and all sorts of environment degradation, they're not like a problem to Kenyans, to Africans in general.
Yeah.
And I'm quite shocked, because you see, if it comes to global warming, it doesn't only affect the white people that we claim that
it's everyone.
Yeah, it's everyone. So anything to do with environment is a problem. It's just that we've not given it the right focus and maybe the research to see how at the end of the day it's affecting us. Yeah. So I need people, first of all, I know they are quite expensive and I'm working on something.
You think?
And it's not my wish to sell them at that price. I wish that anyone, like even at kiosk, can be able to
that's what
them.
I'm saying. If it's possible to do that so that anybody can be able to, like, even if I go to my local place where they make juices, you know, like in town where you have those people who make fresh juice and stuff. Can you imagine telling them that they buy straws for nini?
700.
Yeah, what will they say? What will they say? Excuse me, sir, can I distribute you with straws? Now these 4 pieces.
And that's why I said I'm working on it. It's very actually, this is my first time I'm doing this enterprise. Yeah. The first ever, and I'm working towards making it better. I'm realizing the gaps, the issues that are
the pros and the cons.
Exactly. So with time, I believe just we'll be patient with it, and with time, it will be something that anyone can identify with, not only pro-Greenpeace, pro-environmentalist, everyone, even at that mama at the local shop. Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration just for all this, first of all? Is there anybody who you've seen, Ama, you saw them doing this and they were kind of like a mentor somehow, even if it's not directly, but you're like, you know what, I'd want to be like this person because this is the movement they're going, they did, and the impact they gave to the community? Is there somebody who inspired you to actually... Are there people you look up to?
Maybe people who challenge me. Yeah.
Like who?
I have Wangari Maathai, what she did.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah,
we have
of course.
Wangari Maathai.
Yeah.
Locally, let me think locally.
Yeah,
We
Wangari
have Jerry
Maathai.
Kafeferi.
Who's that?
You don't know Jerry Kafeferi?
Kafeferi?
Yeah, we have her picture there.
Where?
She's our director for Greenpeace Kenya.
Yeah.
Africa, sorry, in general.
Enlighten me, please, eh?
Yeah,
Trust
this
me, eh?
beautiful lady here.
Ah, okay,
Yes, yeah. We have people like them.
Yeah.
Who believe in what they do, and for now she has done so many other projects. She's been into other things like human rights, but right now she's with us doing environment conservation, and she's one of my inspirations locally.
Okay, well, that makes sense. At least I'll go do my research.
Yeah,
Trust me. It's just because everybody who comes to this platform, they also teach me all these new things, and I don't take anything for granted because I still feed myself with a lot of knowledge every other single day. And
lastly, also have Greenpeace. Greenpeace has been an inspiration, seeing what they
Greenpeace is the company that you're
yes, the organization. Greenpeace Kenya.
You're working
Africa.
for or working with?
Working for.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm working for Greenpeace Africa, Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been an inspiration, seeing what they're doing like internationally. Since it's an international organization, fighting for Greenpeace. People being...
So what do they do?
What we do, because I'm part of it.
Yeah, or what do you guys do? Yeah, what do you guys at Greenpeace do?
We are the voice of the environment, and we take a different turn of it. We lobby peacefully for the environment. In Kenya, we are not yet known because we are still new, but out there we are known to fight for whales, climb buildings, and recently in Kenya we had a protest against the Lamu coal plant.
What's that?
The Lamu coal plant is a project that was supposed to be started at Lamu to produce coal as a source of energy. And you see, coal has its own effects. At the end of the day, it causes a lot of air pollution and also causes the death of marine life.
Hey, are you telling us now we can't even marinate meat and just eat the nyama choma that we're used to?
No. Okay, we are not against development because it's a form of development, sorry. But
what's the bad thing about that? Is it cutting down the trees or
the air pollution?
The air pollution.
Also, we have the cutting down of trees. And you see, one of the other things about coal, sorry. A lot of hot water is produced in the processing, in the production, and it's released back to the ocean. So meaning the marine life will have it will have to suffer at the end of the day. But true. You see countries like Turkey, they are doing coal mining, but they have a better technology on how to do it. In Kenya, I feel like we are not yet there.
Oh, we have way too many problems, but it's baby steps, and it starts with people like you.
Yes,
Because if people are not aware of it, they don't see anything wrong. You see, you kind of see. And the protest was where was it?
Nyayo House.
Nyayo House.
Yes,
but it's up for something that's happening in Lamu.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see, like even the people maybe who are in Lamu, they maybe just don't even see anything wrong with it. So they'd just be like, they really are not paying attention. So I think it will also start with, as much as, protesting to the government and everything, I also think just educating the local people to understand what exactly this is not good and this is not, this is okay if you do this. If you do this, it takes care of your marine, this is what feeds you guys, and all those things. But they also have to know.
At the moment, Greenpeace Kenya, we have another project on ecological farming, whereby we've been working with farmers from Kitui, Machakos, and Makueni. And it's not just telling them to not to use, it's called ecological farming, organic farming. It's not just telling them not to do it, but we're also training them, working with them step by step, training them on why they should stop using chemicals, all those harmful chemicals, and go natural. You see, when it comes to plastics, we do the same. We do cleanups and all sort of things, but you see, as much as I'm a fundraiser for Greenpeace Kenya, I also sensitize people on the same. I tell them this is what we're doing as Greenpeace, and this is why you should not be using plastics. You see, so we try as much as possible to teach people or to sensitize people on the effects of these things that we are fighting against.
You're really into this thing. It's not like you're doing it for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's not like that person who's been told, you know what, you just sit on this tent, we'll give you this amount.
It's a passion,
at the end of the day, you can see
you.
it's a passion, definitely. And I think that's just me. If you bump into somebody who's passionate about what they're doing, they paint out a different picture, and people will be readily available to consume the knowledge that you're giving them, because they can see this is a lifestyle that you've actually instilled in yourself. So when you guys, because how I bumped into you, it's because you guys have a tent in the mall, and I'm guessing you're going through different malls and you're just trying to educate people on what you guys have going on, right? And apart from not apart from the malls, what's the reception that you're getting so far from people, and what's your agenda when you set up the tents in the malls, and you stop somebody like, hey, this is what we have going on, this is what's the whole agenda?
The whole agenda for us, as Angeline in a mall, is to sensitize people about environment conservation, but at the end of the day also get someone to team up with us and donate towards our projects, because you see, we are independent. We don't rely on government or even corporates. Reason being, we do a lot of lobbying, and it might be hard to get someone who wants to be associated with us in such a way. Like, say for example, a corporate, like there's 2 months ago, I think we protested outside Nestle offices because they are one of the people who are contributing to a lot of single-use plastics.
How is that? Wait, they're contributing to?
A lot of single-use plastics. The straw, not the straw, sorry. Their packaging is, they use a lot of plastics.
Like how you do the coffee thing, you pour on there and you throw it away. Okay, but how are they supposed to pack their stuff now?
We have better alternatives. We have cartons. Okay. And I also believe the moment that us as consumers refuse such things, we'll be challenging the farms to do something better. Okay, my point was, it is hard to get such people on board to come and support us. Exactly. So
because they're actually part of the problem, kind of.
In a way. So we'll be compromising ourselves when we go asking for funds from them. So we ask people to come on board to support us, and they're not only supporting us financially, they are part of the movement. The movement, exactly. When we have projects, when we have activities, they are always invited to come.
So what kind of activities are we talking about?
Cleanups, protests.
Listen, first of all, my medical insurance is set up.
Ours is peaceful for now.
I know, but still, I never see myself in that front line.
It's fun. And then when you believe, as you said, in a cause, you can do anything for it.
Hey, I'll support you guys from my house or social media.
Long term.
And donations, of course. I can do that from a distance. And just, it's just an interesting thing to see somebody like making this like part of like just their lifestyle and day-to-day life and everything. From just other people, maybe like your age mates, is there anybody else who's trying to do something similar like this in the country, that you can actually say, hey, I've identified so and so, this and this person, and they're also like just preaching the same thing that I'm.
Yeah, I have 2 to 3 friends.
Yeah.
And I'm still searching for people we can come together and say we are a group of people who are trying to influence the other guys on environment conservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you want me to mention them? Or?
Yes, you give them a shout out. Come on. I'm just waiting for you to give them a plug so that
they can. Conscious Aya.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an amazing person. One of the people who motivated me to do this, especially when it came to plastic straws. Yeah, she really inspired me. She still does that.
Yeah.
And she has a blog too called Conscious Aya. Yeah, Akinyi.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have Paul. She's a friend of ours. No, sorry, he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And so far we are still looking for other people.
You're growing the community,
we are growing the community
slowly.
Yeah,
so that's a good thing. And I mean, is there anything else that you have just going on with either Greenpeace or just like in person that you'd want to communicate to just the people out there who are just living reckless maybe, or they're not paying attention to the environment?
So for now, apart from the projects for Bamboo Straw, the Bamboo Straw project, I don't only protest against bamboo straws. We have many other single-use plastics. For example, when you're going to get a yogurt, we have yogurt that is packaged in a carton. Why not go for that? Yeah. So I'm not only.
Or instead of the plastic bottles.
Exactly, the small things. As we look for alternatives, because there's also that fact, there's a gap between the plastics and the alternatives. As we look for alternatives, we can do the other things that are available at the moment. And also have a petition that I have going on.
Yeah, what's the petition?
The petition is our president, Uhuru Kenyatta, while in Canada during the World Environment Day, he declared that he wants to ban single-use plastics. And single-use plastics, I mean, maybe for someone who doesn't. It's that plastic that you only use once, like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you throw it away. It's not recycled or even reused in most cases. So he declared that he'll be banning such in protected areas like national parks, around beaches, oceans. And you see last year when there was a ban for the plastic bags, most people said they weren't involved, they didn't know about it. So the petition you're supposed to sign the petition in support of what the president wants to do by next year, so that he can see that it's something that we support as a nation.
Interesting. In my podcast, I really try and balance out these conversations so that like a lot of people can just get a sense of like just the motivation like just behind you and just you as a character as well, apart from just pushing like what you have going on work-wise. So as a person, just even with something like just Christianity, does that tie into your job as well?
Pardon?
Does that okay, just as a Christian, just moral-wise, is that something that come consciously as you work on your job as well? Are there some things that you actually don't do them because you're a Christian and they also like support the environment as well?
Towards the environment. Yes. You see, I don't know if
because like in the Bible, it's not like it will say please do in the commandments thou shalt not use straws. You get what I mean?
I get.
So I'm just saying, are there some things, principles that come from like the Bible that also guide you every single day as you approach your work?
I think everything that I do, starting with the environment, is inspired by God or the Bible per se. You see, okay, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but in everything, it's my desire to do everything to glorify God. I'll start a sermon if you're not careful.
Hey, listen. You won't be the first pastor that's preaching, so. But I get like a rough idea of what you're saying. Because, okay, then also what else? Let's just maybe go to a bit personal. Like when you're growing up, what did you want to be? Because I'm guessing this is something, this sense is like something that came after you matured, kind of like age-wise at a certain age. That's when you started being a bit cautious about A, B, C, and D. Because when you're a kid, if like your parent buys you like a lollipop, so you just are quickly to take off the wrap and throw it away. Single use by their first of all, throw it away. But just as a kid, what did you want to be growing up?
I wanted to be a TV host.
Yes, TV host.
Exactly. The dream is not yet gone.
Well, why don't you? Here's the thing, because if I go to your Instagram, you have pictures and everything. Why don't you start just short IG videos where you're talking about the environment and such things? Because that's how it basically starts. And if there's a space for somebody to come and talk about like just environment, green and everything, that's where you come in.
Yeah, that's the long-term goal. Not the long-term goal, part of the visions that I have.
So why not start like just introducing that slowly like on social media? I haven't seen you, like you're very well spoken, but why aren't you just even pushing that like on your Instagram?
So
it's the easiest platform that you can actually start actually creating like a community.
I'll take
the sort from that.
I'll work on it.
It just makes sense. Because if you're saying that was your dream, now you incorporate your dream with something that you're actually doing.
Exactly.
And even from that, that's how I think right now in the digital age, you can easily form partnerships. Maybe they're looking for an African representative to go and talk in a summit somewhere, and they're trying to figure out who can we call to come and talk about A, B, C, and D. But we know this girl who lives in Kenya, and she talks about A, B, C, and D every other week about the environment and everything. Why don't we call her in? Hey, make her a partner, write her a check. Hey, you just never know.
With time, I still thought that, I still had the dream to do the hosting and all, but it got to a point that I didn't want to just be a TV host. I wanted to be, I'm not saying that those that are there, they're just TV hosts, like to come with something unique that impacts.
Different.
Yeah, different, exactly. And so since I'm still coming up, I don't want to rush.
Stop
into
saying
things.
that. Here's the thing. That's the only problem. Once you start saying like, I still need time. No, you see the things that you're just talking about. Because let's be honest, how many things at times do you see on TV and then you're like, this is a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
People are watching. So, I mean, what makes you think that what you're saying right now is not important to be consumed by people?
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Like the challenge.
Yes, just think about it. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but just think of some of the stuff that we see every other day on TV. You have like all these crazy shows, dating shows, from Nairobi Diaries, all these to reality shows and stuff. But people sit down and actually consume. So if you can be able to build your community, just personally, before you take it to a bigger platform, why not? And even when you get to those hosting platforms, nowadays it's so easy for you to leverage something or partnerships because you are coming in with a community of people. You're like, these people follow me. If we are advertising on this segment, we can talk about, now you can have like even bigger companies that are coming in to support your cause, and things will be so smooth. They can actually make you be able to start your own brand of bamboo straws.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I'll consider it.
Not consider, just go and do it.
Yes, I'll
So you have a phone, you have a
Yes,
smartphone.
Yeah.
Amma, you need bundles?
No.
Wi-Fi?
I'm okay.
And then, that's what I'm saying. If you think about it, at times, we have all the resources that we could actually think of. Sorry, you need a serviette?
Yeah.
So, if you have all the resources, oh jeez, they're not even. If you have all the resources that you could possibly want, why not just start doing serviette?
Sorry.
So if you have all the resources that you need, why not?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Just do it. Thank you so much. So let's not keep saying like, tunaomba serikali. The government already has enough problems. You have people starving in so many other areas and nini. So if you can take a step and do something for yourself, why not do that? Yeah. So at least let's not limit ourselves. Let's not.
I didn't come for an interview, came for an inspiration.
Hey, listen. That's why when you see people leaving this place, they're always smiling and everything. Yeah. Just take a step. Take your phone, record, do 1 minute or 2 minute videos every single day, and just start posting maybe once a week.
But now the challenge is, I get what you're saying.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is there are few people who are willing to listen to this boring stuff.
Listen.
For now.
Listen, let me tell you something. You see, when I started off with my podcast, people didn't know me for just talking and having conversations, because people know me as the Kiss Bandit. They just know me for like the kisses and taking pictures and stuff, right? But right now, just through talking, people have seen so many other things. I've gotten job opportunities, I've gotten partnerships, I get different calls just because people see a different side of you. I see like, he actually does A, B, C, and D. He actually does A, B, C, and D. Because you have to put yourself out there. Because you see, if I say, like when you met me and, you asked me like if you could be on my podcast, what was my answer?
You could.
Yeah, were you expecting that?
No, actually no. I thought that maybe you go for the popular people or stuff.
Exactly. But that's not the thing. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a journey. And if there's a tent there's a group of 6, 7, or 8 people there. Not unless you want to tell me all of you guys are just there to just chilling. No, people have a calling. There's a community that would want to hear your opinion about that. So it doesn't matter they don't want to hear about this. You put it out there.
And shout.
Because if you're saying that, they don't want to hear about this. So will you give them the entertainment for like Nairobi Diaries for them to come in? No. So exactly. If you can't give them that, what can you do best? Do what you normally do every single day. You'll build a community from that. And trust me, what might seem boring to other people will come in there and be like, okay. She's talking about this. I have the same passion. I didn't know there's somebody who exists in Kenya who's thinking about this. Like, why don't I reach out to them and see what we can actually do together? Wow. So think about it that way.
I will.
Hey, if I'm talking to you like here for over 30 minutes, are you telling me it's a boring talk? I wouldn't have been here. I'd have been like, who's talking about straws?
But I have a group of people who are actually supporting me.
Yeah.
And they are pro Angie, go for it, we are behind you and all. Now maybe venturing the next step is maybe afraid. The fear is
what are you afraid of?
It might not work, but
but here's the thing. Okay, if it doesn't work for them, what's the worst that can be? Like, what's the worst thing that can go wrong right now if you attempt to do and you're not getting the same number of views? What's the worst thing?
Actually nothing. I will have impacted the small group of people.
There you go. Like, there is nothing that you will lose. Nothing. Yeah. So just try, go out there, push it. If you have an agenda and this is what you live every single day, just go all out. Because people will also kind of see that hesitance. If you have that hesitation, somebody's like, I buy these straws, nata, conversation. I go to your IG, I can't really get pick point like Nini. And you wouldn't even know, like the person who's saying the biggest representative here in your sense of inspiration, they'll identify another different skill on you. So if there's a forum going on somewhere, like just all these talks that they normally have, like meetups and conventions overseas or whatever, like you said, you're known outside the country as well. So most of the time they always look for representatives. Who's going to be the spokesperson?
Angeline.
Yes. So if you don't prove yourself, like how else are you gonna grow from what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the conversation we've touched on everything that goes on, like just work-wise and stuff. So we also have to go to like just personal a bit, so that a lot of people can get a sense of who Angeline is. Why does she think the way she thinks? What keeps her motivated, and all these other things. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Love segment. Are you in a relationship?
Yes, I'm in a serious relationship. Yay!
Is he also an environmentalist?
Yes, he's an environmentalist.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he studied, and then I took over.
That's what he studied?
Not directly.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a lot of environmental courses, yeah.
So does that make it easier? Because you see, let's say if you're dating somebody who's not an environmentalist, and then they are always using straws, always on Nescafe, they just get wrap it and just throw it like next to you. See, of course, it will definitely just make you feel like some kind of way. So does it make it easier for you to actually...
Yeah, it's much easier. Yeah, and apart from him being an environmentalist too, he's also very supportive on what I'm doing. Yes. So even if I'm not there, he will not use a plastic straw. I hope he doesn't.
And as we talk of other commitments, there's somebody who has to commit even to just using straws. But I like that. That's interesting. Yeah.
And we hope we'll bring up a family that is pro-environment.
Listen, do it. Kids, no straws. You're drinking Konza from the glass and cups.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And I guess it's just like you say, somebody like that is a good support system. It gives you a sense and purpose of just keeps you motivated in just doing what you do every single day. That's nice.
Yeah.
And just maybe as we sum up like the podcast. Oh wait, is he also born again?
Yes, he's a
What? Is he Kenyan?
Yeah.
Where did you find him?
In school.
Environmentalist, born again Christian. Hey, that's special. Very rare, very rare.
Yeah.
So at least you guys just bounce in and off like just similar thoughts and vibes as well. That's good. That's very, very special.
Yay.
Okay, one last question that I normally ask everybody when they come to the podcast. What's the one thing that you think you're in pursuit of right now as Angeline? And if like you got it, it will give your life better fulfillment, direction, or just some sense of happiness?
I have a lot in. I have a
take
full
all
list.
take all the time you want. You see, I've asked the question and then I'm just like, you need a minute to think about it.
For now, I just want more people to come on board on the issue to do with ban of single-use plastics and living more cautiously. Like being more conscious consumers at the end of the day. And also to make it a local thing. You see, something the issue to do with environment is not that well known in Kenya, but I really hope that with time people will get to understand that it's like an issue for everyone. May you be in America, in the Europe, in Kenya, it's all the same. So like people to come on board. And also to like find locally available materials to come as alternatives to do. That
you can actually make it easy for you to push your agenda as well.
And to be able to reach more people.
Reach, empower, all those things. Interesting. Well, I think we've touched on almost just everything. Maybe like just if I asked you what keeps you motivated? God.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good answer. Very nice and simple answer. Now you see there's no even question to follow up after that. How do I follow up after you say God? Like, there's nothing else. Like there's nothing else. I can't ask that. You see. So yeah, I think we've just touched on everything, and I can just say thanks for coming through to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It has been an honor.
Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
what else do you have going on that you would like to plug on the podcast, and where can people find you in social media?
In social media, on IG, my IG handle is Nemo_Angeline. The same for Twitter, Nemo_Angeline.
Yeah.
For Facebook is Nemo_Angeline. Yes.
Nice.
And then sign the petition, guys. It's I keep on sharing.
Is the link in your bio?
No, not yet.
Well, put it in your bio. It should be easier.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, because that way if you post even on your IG stories, people can actually still keep going there. Yeah. Oh, and then one thing I didn't ask you, because I've asked, so all these things that you have going on in just that field, what have been the biggest obstacles that you've gone through just in your journey of pursuing this?
Biggest obstacle?
Yeah. Or just what are some of the difficulties? Is everything smooth? Is everything going as you expected?
No.
Yeah, so let's not forget to mention that before we finish the podcast. What are some of the hurdles that you think you're going through right now?
Finding locally available materials, as I had said, to come as alternatives.
Yeah.
We also have finances. I'm not yet like that stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe balancing work and the projects. Yeah, but I'm working on that.
Yeah. Is it hard, or because of the time, or because of one is personal and you also want it to reach the same heights as the other?
I'm the kind of person, when I get into something, I go it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So Greenpeace has been that inspiration, and it still is.
Yeah.
Right now I have something else that is cooking in me, and so it is hard to give that same focus. And I hope my boss doesn't see this.
No, it's completely understandable.
Yes, yeah.
And bosses respect people who have visions, even for themselves. Yeah. Because what if your boss is bought by another bigger entity? What happens then? Yeah, they'll be like, okay, we love you, Angeline, and everything. The company is being bought off. We're moving to this and this place. So I don't know what we're supposed to do. What happens? But if the boss sees that you have that visual and stuff, they know, like, even if I'm moving, I have to move with this person. Yeah.
But I'm still motivated to give 100% to both.
Yeah.
Both parties.
Personal and just the company as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, guys, I think, make sure you follow Angeline and Greenpeace Umoja, right?
No, Greenpeace Kenya, Greenpeace Africa, and all.
And what's the Umoja mean? What does the Umoja mean? Oh no, I know, but so the name is not Greenpeace Umoja, it's Greenpeace,
it's just
Greenpeace, or there's Greenpeace Africa?
Yeah, Greenpeace Africa. We have Greenpeace International, Greenpeace Africa, Greenpeace South Africa, and Greenpeace Kenya. How
long will you be doing these activations in malls? Throughout the year, or?
As long as we can.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
This is our main source of funding.
Perfect. So if any of you guys just are walking in the mall and you bump into any Greenpeace tent, it's a green tent and it has like a lot of like trees, pictures and things to do with the environment. Just take a minute of your time, listen to what they can educate you with in regards to the environment. And, let's be part of the change. Let's not just talk about it. And also let's support our own as well.
Yes.
Thanks
Nemo
for coming
Angeline.
Nemo_Angeline. So thanks for coming to the podcast. And, I hope we can revisit this conversation sometime in future. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you subscribe iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all those social media platforms. I'll put the links down below. Make sure you like, repost and watch the video to support all the channels. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's the Kiss Capades Podcast. Goodbye.